The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 281. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on. She is a visual artist, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her story with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to InJung Oh. InJung, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hello, everyone. I'm a Korean American visual artist, and I'm glad that I'm honored to actually speak about my self-confidence and how my journey has been.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And InJung, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I think everyone knows this. I can do it. I can do it.
I love it. I remember when the first time I heard not I can do it, but you can do it. It was actually like a cartoon. It was like this train that was going up the hill. And, he kept on telling himself, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, until he actually got to the top of that mountain. And I think that was the first time when I realized, if I just thought about it and just focused on it, that it can actually happen. And I think people forget that, we have so much within us to do great things that sometimes we get bogged down by life experiences and life gets in the way. But really, we have what it takes to do what we want to do. So I really love that quote, short and sweet and, very powerful at the same time. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Well, self-confident, I think it's all about how do you love yourself and how can you keep that energy, like just you mentioned. I mean, we can do it. I can do it. It's very simple, short and simple, but a lot of time we just forget that. And what other things can you do or activities or other things that you can find to do to keep yourself, love yourself and who you are and what you want to do and how can you maintain it to keep it up. So I think that's my self-confidence and maintain it so that I can keep on discovering my voice, maintaining my voice and what I want to do and push forward.
Awesome. And I love that definition. And I love how you mentioned, you asked that question, how do you love yourself and maintain it, right? I think maintaining is probably one of the hardest things to do, right? Because
totally.
There's going to be days when we don't love ourselves. Sometimes we look.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, we look in the mirror and we're like, oh my God, that is not me today. But we just keep going. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I mean, it's really hard to define like before and after. I think because I think we all have that moment like, oh, I feel, you feel better at yourself and sometimes you don't. So it's really hard to describe like when it's before and after because it goes back and forth all the time. Well, at least for me. So for me as an artist and just being a mom and a wife and all this have multiple roles in my life, I actually found the word Volossom like my own because art is very connected in my life. And I've been painting and doing my own visual language for over 10 years. And all the things that I've been really trying to express was this thing. And I keep on telling myself this thing. But what is this thing? It is kind of a form of intangible things, but it's actually having a birth, which means like we all know that it's like, okay, how do I describe this? So I create the word called Volossom because I've been trying to find a word to push me forward. But I don't really know what you call it or how to describe it because every time it's different. But, you living in a world that you look at this code and just like how you are doing, you're having this great program to kind of push people forward, right? But I couldn't really find that connection with my art. So I create the word Volossom. It means actually a manifestation of wish or will. So I created my own this visual Volossom. I also call it wish or will flower. So I apply that to my life. So every day or every moment when I have that moment, then I tell myself, okay, how am I going to reach my Volossom? Like, how am I going to reach my goal and my wish flower? So in order for me to do that, I need this three things. I call it COW, cow. It's consistent action and optimism and a willpower. So I specifically apply that to my life. Like I'm like, let's say one morning I wake up in the morning, it's like like I have this moment in the morning that, oh my God, it's a chaos, the kids and all this other things in my life doesn't really, make sense. I wanted to do my own work or art. This is something that I really want to maintain and continue. So then I tell myself to stay, go to the studio, that's consistently push myself forward. And then if I hear anything like negative, I tell myself, keep it up, optimism, like keep it positive and how I'm going to stay positive. So, and then like, again, the willpower. So I try to apply that in my life to kind of stay forward, move forward. So that's something that I've been doing.
Awesome. And I love that, you find ways to push forward. I mean, sometimes, it can be challenging, like especially you being a mom and a wife and doing your artwork, having that realization that, you could connect your art to life and build that self-confidence. What's your life been like now?
So, I mean, I saw that what you said before and after. So, I mean, like, for example, before Volossom, like how I found this word, it's been like kind of a journey. It's just happened organically. But because I've been focusing on the art and this type of language for many, many years, because that was my passion. That was my kind of a thing. But everybody has their own different thing. But some people actually don't end up searching for it or finding for it. But I think no matter who you are, I think you have to find that thing what's really connected to you, like specifically, so that it makes sense. It's not just the code that you listen, or you have to really like, find that system in your life. I don't know is how I should put it, so that it's really connected to you and really, how do I describe it? So that you maintain it continually. It's not just like one time you do it, haha. Like even listening this kind of program, it's great because then that way, like consistently, you are like, it helps you to get back in track in a way. So, I mean, whatever that is, everyone will be different, but you just have to find that kind of path. So for me, before, like, my dad was a great influence. So he always tell me like about these kind of word, the good saying, and like I'm from Korea, so he always say good Korean saying or Asian saying, and like, oh, you can do it, like in order for you to go to the peak of the mountain, you can never give up, even though like there will be hardship, you just keep on pushing forward. A lot of things. So then those are good, but it's good and it pushed me in a certain way. But before I found the Volossom, like it wasn't as specifically, it's almost like you hear with your brain, but it's not really feel with your heart in a way. I don't know if it says it right. So after I found the Volossom, it's kind of like really applied to my heart. And my life got so much more complicated after I graduated from Art Institute. So before it was being a daughter, being a school student, and growing up as a Korean American female was and very strong father figure. My life was a little bit, it was pretty simple, let's say. Yeah, simpler. And then once I graduated, become like artist and a mom, and I have all this different role and a mom, like daughter-in-law, all these different things was just a bit chaotic in a way. But I think in this sense, I try different things and it helps me in a way. But I think through Volossom for myself, it allowed me to be more specific because that's something that I do. I paint and that's how I see things with my art. And it's just only things that I think about. So yeah, it becomes more close to like daily life for myself.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, it's not a lot of people get to say they love what they do. They put their heart and soul into it, and it shows right through the work that you have. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I will say many times you will face difficulties, many different forms and shapes, but just don't let yourself get too into it. Like so many people will say, I feel like it's easy to say bad things. I think pointing things out. So you will hear that. But when that happens, just find a way, like find a little box or something like visually and put those bad things inside and try to find a way to keep yourself positive and, continue to love yourself.
Thanks for sharing that. Those are great tips. And I like how you mentioned, putting the bad things into a little box and just putting it away somewhere, right?
Yeah. And also keep yourself surrounded by like positive people that can really influence you and, so that you can stay positive.
Totally, I agree. And InJung, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, definitely. I actually have an Instagram, InJung Oh, InJungoh. I have my website, thevolossom.com, VOLOSSOM.com or InJungOh.com. Those are my like artist website and Volossom website. Instagram is a good way, Facebook too. So yeah, you can learn about me, and I'm pretty hands-on with my social media too. So
awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with InJung, you can also head on over to the Tao of self-confidence.com and search for InJung's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank InJung for taking the time to share her story and journey with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you everyone who's listening, and thank you, Sheena, for allowing me to join you. And yeah.
Not a problem. It was an honor having you on and share your story. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free self-talk tape for building self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.